Alright, how's it going, everybody? C-RadTV back here with another video. So, of course, it's that time of year. It is time for the annual NFL playoff bracket and predictions video for 2019 and 2020. Time to get on the road to Super Bowl 54. So, of course, we started the year off with 32 teams, and after 17 weeks of battle, we are down to 12. So out of these 12 that will do battle, who will be the one lifting Vince Lombardi's trophy at the end of the day? Well, we got 12 teams. You know how this works. Let's go through all of them, and then we'll see who we got. So let's get started. So starting off here, we got, of course, the AFC side of it we're going to go through. So here are our 6 contestants. So let's go through it. So first off, we have the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have just been an outstanding offensive juggernaut of a team. Like the Ravens offense, it consists of, the quarterback Lamar Jackson, who has been a transcending talent. He's a quarterback, he can run, he can do it all. And for the Ravens, it turned out this entire time that Joe Flacco was holding them back from their true potential. Because notice how the first year without Joe Flacco, the Ravens have become an elite monster. Coincidence? I think not. Of course, though, for their backfield, they do have fullback Gus Edwards. The running back, Mark Ingram, is questionable with a calf injury, but with Lamar Jackson's legs, you really don't need a running back, I guess. For receivers and offensive target playmakers, they got names like Chris Moore, Willie Snead, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Mark Andrews, who is questionable for this game with an ankle injury. The defense has names like Willie Henry, Michael Pierce, Brandon Williams, Tyrus Bowser, Matthew Judon, Patrick Onwuasor. I probably botched that last name. It's a tongue twister. Kenny Young, Marlon Humphrey. They will be missing Tony Jefferson as he is on the IR with an ACL tear. They do got Marcus Peters and Jimmy Smith, and Earl Thomas is questionable for this game with a knee injury. Head coach of this team is John Harbaugh, who's done a really good job turning this team around. They also brought in offensive coordinator Greg Roman, who has really made this offense build around Lamar Jackson. And defensive coordinator is Don Martindale. Ravens offense is ranked 2nd in the league, 27th passing the ball, but the Ravens have the #1 running attack. So if you shut the Ravens' run game down, this Ravens offense can't do shit. The defense is 4th in the league, 6th against the pass, 5th against the run, so it's very hard to get anything going on this defense. So this Ravens team is really good. But can they go all the way? We'll have to see. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, the Chiefs, their offense is headed by Patrick Mahomes, the living cheat goat himself, that can literally do about anything. The Chiefs season, it almost got off to a rocky end when Patrick Mahomes went down with that knee injury, but he's came back and the Chiefs held their own. Fought all the way back to a round 1 bye. Their backfield, they have fullback Anthony Sherman, and they got a running back rotation of Sean McCoy and Damian Williams. Their main receiving targets are Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Sammy Watkins. The defense has names like Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Derek Nahadi. They are missing Alex Okafor, who is on the IR with a pectoral injury. They also got names like Anthony Hitchens, Reggie Ragland, Damian Wilson, Bashad Breeland, Kendall Fuller, Tyrann Mathieu, and Daniel Sorensen. The head coach, of course, is the barbecue master, Andy Reid. Offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. And the defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo. The Chiefs' offense is ranked 6th. They are 5th passing the ball and 23rd on running the ball. So the Chiefs got to find a way to run the ball in the playoffs. The Chiefs' defense is ranked 17th. They are 8th against the pass and 26th against the run. So yeah, this defense struggles against the run, but they can do well against the pass. Chiefs, they got some issues on defense they got to clean up. Good news is, Chiefs, you're on a bye week. So you got an extra week to prepare for the playoffs. But let's be real, Chiefs. We all know who you want to face in the playoffs. We all know the team you need to beat in the playoffs. And that team is the one we're going to discuss next. The New England Patriots. Oh boy, New England. Another year of winning yet another division title. But this year is different. Because the Patriots do not have a round 1 bye for the first time in 10 years. Damn it. New England, you were so close to having a whole decade of first round byes. The goddamn Dolphins cost you it. Because the Dolphins decide to sacrifice one draft spot to beat yous. But anyway, for the New England offense, of course, the offense is led by the field general, the GOAT himself, Tom Brady, and his 6-ring Infinity Gauntlet. Their main running back in the backfield is Sony Michel in the rotation. Their main receiving targets consist of Philip Dorsett. Julian Edelman is questionable for the wild card game with a knee injury. They also got N'Keal Harry, Matthew Slater, and Mohamed Sanu. The defense has names like Adam Butler, Lawrence Guy, Danny Shelton, the rookie Chase Winovich, who's had a very stellar rookie season. Dietrich Wise Jr., Juwan Bentley, who is questionable with a knee injury. They also got Jamie Collins, who was questionable with a shoulder injury. They also got Dante Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, secondary to same leaders as before. Patrick Chung and Stephon Gilmore. And of course they got both McCourty twins, Devin and Jason. Jason, however, is questionable in the wildcard game with a groin injury. And of course the head coach of the well-oiled machine, the dynasty, the evil Patriot Empire, is Bill Belichick. He also calls the shots for the defense. The offensive coordinator is Josh McDaniels because I couldn't find out who the Patriots defensive coordinator is through research. But I believe it's Bill Belichick calling the shots. And if that is the case, then Bill Belichick really has something going this year. Patriots offense is ranked 15th. They are 8th passing the ball and 18th running the ball. As it's starting to look like Father Time has caught up to Tom Brady. But knowing Brady, he'll still enable cheat codes to find a way to play till he's 50. The Patriots defense is the number 1 defense in the league. 2nd against the pass, 6th against the run. And I've already seen a lot of people start doubting New England. For the love of God, why do you keep doing this to yourself, folks? There is one golden rule in NFL. You never doubt Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like, how many times do I have to say this? Stop doubting Brady and the Patriots. Do all you dumbasses really want Brady to become a 20-time Super Bowl champion that bad? Because at this rate, you doubting him is going to let that happen. But New England might be closing in to the end of the Patriot Empire. Because how many more years can Brady keep up before his body gives out? And will Belichick eventually hang it up? Like, the Patriots could be a couple years away from having to rebuild it and retool. So you better make this shot count, New England. Next team on the list, we have the Houston Texans. Houston, another division title. Honestly, I made the right call taking Houston as a safe pick to win the South this year. And it truly was a safe pick. Houston's offense is led by Deshaun Watson. The running back, they did have Lamar Miller until he went down with an ACL tear. So in comes Carlos Hyde. On offense, they got weapons like Kiki Kuti. Will Fuller is questionable for the wildcard game, in the wildcard round with a groin injury. But they also got names like DeAndre Hopkins, Kenny Stills, who's questionable with a knee injury, and Jordan Thomas. The defense is led by Angelo Blackson, DJ Reader, and the returning J.J. Watt. Yes, J.J. is clear for the wildcard round. They also got Zach Cunningham, Benedict McKinney, Whitney Merciless. Tashawn Gibson is going to be out. He's on the IR with a lower back injury. But they also got Lonnie Johnson, Justin Reed. And Bradley Robbie is questionable with a hamstring injury. The head coach, of course, is Bill O'Brien, with offensive coordinator Tim Kelly and defensive coordinator Romeo Crennel. The offense is ranked 13th. They are 15th passing the ball and 9th running the ball. So Carlos Hyde and a company have done a good job filling in for Lamar Miller. You know, Deshaun Watson's had a really stellar season. The defense, though, is suspect. They are 28th. They are 29th against the pass, and they're 25th against the run. So defense has not been this team's strong suit, but offense is. And I feel like that defense could raise questions, because you need to have a strong defense to contend in the playoffs, and that could cost them in the long run. Can Houston actually do something in the playoffs, or are they one and done? We'll have to see. Next team we have over in the AFC, we have the Buffalo Bills. Honestly, for Buffalo, it was a toss-up for that last wild card. I either had you or the Jets. I chose poorly. I should have went with the Bills. Yep, last time I ever trust the Jets win anything. Now they actually have to prove something to me. But Buffalo's offense, it's led by Josh Allen, who can't get a gauge on. Like, he can run well, but his passing is really suspect, has accuracy issues, as mentioned before. The running back, they have duo of Frank Gore and T.Y. Yeldon. They also got fullback Patrick DeMarco. And their main receiving targets consist of Cole Beasley, John Brown, and Tyler Kroft. The defense, though, has been the Bills' main bread and butter. Names like Jerry Hughes, Starwell Telley, Trent Murphy, rookie Ed Oliver. They also got linebackers Lorenzo Alexander, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano. The secondary has Micah Hyde, Kevin Johnson, Jordan Power, and Tre'Davious White. The head coach of the squad is Sean McDermott, who's really built a defensive juggernaut here, with offensive coordinator Brian DeBoe and defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier. Bills' offense is ranked 24th. They are 26th against passing the ball and 8th running the ball. So they can run the ball, but Josh Allen just can't throw it. The Bills' defense is ranked 3rd. They are 4th against the pass and 10th against the run. Like, this defense is legit. Something you can't underestimate. And this defense, it's a lot of young players, a lot of keystones in this defense. So this defense is going to be here for a while. They just need to fix their offense issues, and then they got some going. I'll say one thing about the Bills. I feel they're a year ahead of schedule. But I feel like in a couple years down the road, this team is going to be scary if they can get that offense going. And of course, the final team we will go over is the Tennessee Titans. Of course, Tennessee's had an interesting season. On offense, they had Marcus Mariota in at quarterback. And then Tennessee finally did the right thing and canned him when Marcus couldn't stay healthy and he played like shit as a result. So when Marcus getting canned, that brought Ryan Tannehill in. And Tannehill has brought the Titans back to life. Honestly, it was a smart move. Because deep down Titans, Marcus Mariota was holding your team back. The main running back for the Titans has been Derrick Henry, who has been a real beast behind the offensive line. And the Titans' main receiving weapons consist of Corey Davis, Adam Humphries, who is questionable with an ankle injury, and Jonnu Smith. They are going to be missing Delanie Walker with an ankle injury. The defense, though, it has names like Jarrell Casey, Austin Johnson, Daquan Jones, Rashad Evans, Harold Landry. They are missing Cameron Wake as he is on the IR with an undisclosed injury. They also got Wesley Woodyard. Malcolm Butler is also going to be out as he is on the IR with a wrist injury. They also got Kevin Byard Adoree Johnson, Logan Ryan, and Kenny Vaccaro. The head coach, of course, is Mike Frabo. Offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, and defensive coordinator Dean Pease. The offense is 12th. They are 21st passing the ball and 3rd running the ball. So the main key on the Titans offense has been the run game. So you shut the run game down, and then Tannehill has to throw it. The defense, though, is 21st. 24th against the pass, 12th against the run. They have a couple injuries in the secondary and in the middle field, so that's playing an effect into this. Oh no, the Titans, they needed a last-second surge to get into the playoffs. I mean, losing 2 of your last 3 games entering the playoffs is not a recipe for success. The Titans, though, they got a tough test on their playoff road. Can they get it done? We'll have to see. But, yeah. Anyway, it is time now. Let's take a look at the NFC. So here are the 6 participants on the NFC side of the ball. First off, we have the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, for all those fans that don't like tanking, here's an argument for you. There are times where tanking can work, if done successfully. Now, when I say successfully, I mean you have to nail each and every single pick correctly. And in the San Francisco 49ers case, they actually have nailed most of their picks correctly. Except for Reuben Foster. Except for Reuben Foster, we won't talk about that one. But the main field general on the offense for the 49ers is Jimmy Garoppolo, who was at one point the heir to Tom Brady, until the Patriots decided to trade him away. And it looks like that could have been a costly move for the Patriots long term. We'll have to see. For the 49ers, their running back has been a bit of a rotation of different guys coming in. That was all because Jerick McKinnon went down early in the year with an ACL tear again. That McKinnon signing is looking worse and worse by the day. They do got fullback Kyle Juszczyk. I probably said the last name wrong. That's also a tongue twister. But the main offensive targets on the 49ers consist of George Kittle, Dante Pettis, Deebo Samuel, and Emmanuel Sanders. The defense, though, has been the 49ers' main bread and butter. Names like Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, DeForest Buckner, Dee Ford, who is questionable with a hamstring injury. They are also going to be missing Kwan Alexander, who was on the IR with a pectoral injury. They do got Fred Warner, though. The secondary is led by Richard Sherman. They also got Jaquise Tariff, who's questionable with a ribs injury. They are missing Jason Ferret, who's on the IR with a knee injury. And they also got Jimmy Ward. The head coach, of course, is Kyle Shanahan. He's also calling the shots on the offense, since the 49ers don't have an offensive coordinator this year. But they got a defensive coordinator, Robert Selleck. The 49ers offense is ranked 4th. 13th passing the ball, 2nd running the ball. So even without McKinnon, they still have success at running the ball. The 49ers defense is the 2nd ranked defense in the league. Number 1 against the pass, 17th against the run. So the secondary can shut your passing game down, but the running game is suspect. I mean, 49ers, they got some good pieces here. And keep in mind, the 49ers, they were forced to rebuild when they fired Jim Harbaugh. And then everybody that wanted to play for Harbaugh chose to leave. Hell, at that moment, we labeled the Harbaugh firing as the moment the 49ers jumped the shark. Well, congratulations, 49ers. Now, you have a chance to unjump the shark. This is going to be a team to watch out for in the playoffs. Next team we have the Green Bay Packers. Oh, joy, Green Bay. Probably one of the worst 13-3 teams the fans have ever seen. Green Bay's offense, of course, is led by Aaron Rodgers. With new running back Aaron Jones, the receiving targets the same as before, Devontae Adams. They also got Geronimo Allison, Jimmy Graham, and they also got return specialist Marquise Valdes-Scantling. The Packers defense has names like Kenny Clark, Dean Lowry, Blake Martinez, Preston Smith, Sedarius Smith, Jair Alexander, Adrian Amos, Darryl Savage, and Tremont Williams. The head coach, of course, is rookie head coach Matt LaFleur, with offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett and defensive coordinator Mike Pettine. Here's why I say I'm not impressed with this 13-3 Packers squad. The Packers' offense is ranked 18th, 17th passing the ball, and 15th running the ball. And they have no significant injuries to note. The Packers' defense is ranked 18th. They are 14th against the pass, and they are tied for 23rd against the run. Like, this Packers team is literally screaming, one and done. Let's be real, there's one reason why the Packers are at this position. It's because of Aaron Rodgers bailing these sorry-ass scrubs out once again. This team is literally one guy. One guy carrying a team of overpaid scrubs. But Green Bay, you actually have to prove something to me to prove you're legit. Green Bay, you want me to take you serious? Wake me when you make the Super Bowl. And then I may take you serious. Moving on, next up we got the New Orleans Saints. The Saints once again win the NFC South. This time it was a pathetic NFC South. And the Saints just completely steamrolled that pathetic excuse of a division. Like, seriously, every team was 7-9 or worse. Like, that division is as diluted as my piss. Like, I think everyone and their mothers had the Saints winning this division. We've been calling it since goddamn April. Like, we all said it here, the Saints only needed to win 8 games this year just to win the division. It is that pathetically easy. I'll say it here, I think the Saints will win the division every year until Drew Brees retires. Because it's that fucking pathetic. Because the Falcons, they're completely trash and they're going to have to rebuild and blow it up. The Panthers are going to be starting to rebuild now. And the Buccaneers, they can maybe contend if Jameis Winston can stop turning the goddamn ball over so much. But of course, getting back to the Saints, the main field general, of course, is Drew Brees. And they also got their main running back, Alvin Kamara. And they also got fullback Zach Line, who is questionable with a knee injury. But their main receiving targets consist of Jared Cook, Ted Ginn Jr., and Michael Thomas. The defense has playmakers too, like Malcolm Brown, Marcus Davenport, Cameron Jordan. But they are missing Sheldon Rankins, who is on the IR with an ankle injury. But they also got a linebacker, Kiko Alonso. They will be missing Alex and Salone, who is on the IR with a shoulder injury. They also got Demario Davis and AJ Klein and Manta T.O. Their secondary, they have Eli Apple, who is questionable with an ankle injury. They also got Von Bell, who is also questionable with a knee injury. They got Marshawn Lattimore and Marcus Williams, who is questionable with a groin injury. The head coach, of course, is still Sean Payton. Offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael, and the defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. Saints offense is ranked 9th, 7th passing the ball, 16th running the ball. And of course, Drew Brees, even though this is his 19th season in the league, it seems like Father Time has not caught up to him yet. And he's had a really stellar season. A year where Drew Brees passed Peyton Manning for touchdown passes by a quarterback. And continuing to pull away from Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in passing yards. The Saints defense is ranked 11th. 20th against the pass, but 4th against the run. So the Saints, they got to find a way to shut the pass game down and cut down the amount of big plays they give up. Of course, the last couple years, the Saints have been screwed over by bad luck. 2017, 2018, they were screwed. They ended up being the victims of the Minneapolis Miracle. Last year, they got fucked over by ref ball. This year, if they blow this opportunity to go all the way, they may have no more excuses this time. You know what the goal is, Saints. Anything that isn't a Super Bowl, if you do not win the Super Bowl this year, Saints, consider this year a failure. This one is truly Super Bowl or bust. Because how many more good years does Drew Brees have left in him before Father Time catches up to him? But yeah, let us continue on. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, who have won a pretty pathetic NFC East, but somebody had to win that division. Of course, the main field general for the Eagles is the United Church of Carson Wentz. At running back, they are missing Darren Sproles, who went on the IR with a hip injury, but they got a pretty good rotation in Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders. Their receiving core is pretty injured and beat up. You got Nelson Aguilar, who's questionable with a knee injury. Zach Ertz, who's questionable with broken ribs. They do got Dallas Goedert, but they will be missing two main pieces. They'll be missing Deshaun Jackson, who's on the IR with an abdomen injury. And they'll also be missing Alshon Jeffrey, who's on the IR with a foot injury. The defense is pretty more healthy. They got names like Derek Barnett, Fletcher Cox, Finney Curry, Brandon Graham. They're missing Malik Jackson, who's on the IR with a foot injury. But they got Nigel Bradham. They're also missing Camus Gooser-Hill, who's on the IR with a back injury. They're also missing Ronald Darby, who's on the IR with a hip injury. But they got Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod. Jalen Mills is questionable for the wild card round, with an ankle injury. The head coach of this squad is Doug Peterson. The offensive coordinator is Mike Rowe, and the defensive coordinator is Jim Schwartz, who has really turned this Eagles defense around since last year. I know, will Eagle fans still want him fired if they lose in the playoffs? We'll have to see. The Eagles' offense is ranked 14th. They are 11th passing the ball and 11th running the ball. So pretty average, but they can still get it done. They had a pretty late push at the end of the year, but they're pretty beat up. The Eagles' defense is ranked 10th. They are 19th against the pass, but 3rd against the run. So this defense can shut the run down. It's just, they just give up a lot of big plays. And they got a lot of injuries in that secondary backfield. So yeah, can the Eagles pull a playoff win out of their ass? Or will the injuries catch up? We'll have to see. Next up on the list, we have the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks that somehow, despite a really good season from them, the Seahawks still ended up with in a wild card spot. Just couldn't get it done at home. Of course, for the Seahawks offense, they have Russell Wilson, the field general, who got a massive extension in the offseason and has really had a really stellar season. Their running back field, they're missing Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, as both are out on the IR with hip and ACL tears respectively. But they did bring a familiar face back in that running back field. Marshawn Lynch, a.k.a. Beast Mode. In terms of receiving targets, James Brown is doubtful in this game with an MCL tear. They do got Will Dissly. And they did have Josh Gordon. Until Josh Gordon got suspended for being a fucking idiot once again. Like, Jesus Christ. How many suspensions did you need before you realize you need to stop taking PEDs? God damn it. But they got us other receiving targets like Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and David Moore. The defense, they actually have a healthy Siggy Ansah. Wow, a healthy Siggy Ansah. I wish he could have stayed healthy in Detroit. But moving on, they also got Jadeveon Clowney, Poona Ford, Quinton Jefferson, Jaron Reed, Shaquem Griffin. Mikael Kendricks will be out for the wild card round with a knee injury. But they got Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright. Quandre Diggs is questionable for the wild card round with an ankle injury. But they got Trey Flowers, the defensive back, not the D lineman. No, the defensive back Trey Flowers, not the D lineman on Detroit. Moving on, they also got Shaquille Griffin, the other Griffin twin. They also got Delano Hall and Bradley McDougall. The head coach, of course, is Pete Carroll, who's done a really good job of keeping the Seahawks competitive. The offensive coordinator is Brian Schottenheimer, and the defensive coordinator is Ken Norton Jr. The Seahawks offense is ranked 8th. They are 14th passing the ball and 4th running the ball. Most of that run game was before Chris Carson and Rashad Penny went down with their injuries, respectively. But Marshawn Lynch, if he can get back to his old beast mode form, he should be able to keep him there. Just give him all the Skittles he wants. The Seahawks defense is not the same defense it used to be. Ranked 26th. 27th against the pass, 22nd against the run. The Seahawks have now decided to go back to being an offensive-minded team with Russell Wilson. But can Russell carry the Seahawks to a playoff win and a deep playoff run on the road? Like, the Seahawks have been really good on the road. Can they keep it going? We'll have to see. And, of course, the final team we'll go over is the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, of course, they're on offense. Their main leader is Kirk Cousins. Some injuries to note. They are going to have Dalvin Cook is questionable for the wild card round with a shoulder injury. But they also got fullback C.J. Ham. They will have their main offensive targets of Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, and Kyle Rudolph. The defense will have, their playmakers, Everson Griffin, Daniel Hunter, Linval Joseph, Shamar Stephan, Anthony Barr, Ben Geeden. Eric Kendricks is questionable for the wild card round with a quad injury. But they also got Anthony Harris, Xavier Rhodes, Harrison Smith, and Trey Waynes. The head coach of the squad, of course, is Mike Zimmer. The offensive coordinator is Kevin Stefanski. And Stefanski could be enjoying his last go-around with the Vikings, as he has been rumored to be going for a head coaching gig and being interviewed by multiple teams for a head coaching vacancy. But they also got defensive coordinator George Edwards. Of course, the Vikings offense is ranked 16th. They are 23rd passing the ball and 6th running the ball. Dalvin Cook's been the main piece of this offense for the Vikings. But Kirk Cousins, he's been inconsistent. One week he looks like a big old gunslinger that can do anything. The next week he looks inconsistent as all hell. It's just, which Kirk Cousins will you get in the playoffs? The Vikings defense is ranked 14th. They are 15th against the pass, 13th against the run. So defense has a few things to clean up. But, what is there to do? But yeah, those are the 12 teams for each conference. Now it's time for the predictions. So, of course, here is the wild card round for the AFC and the NFC. So, in the AFC, you have Buffalo versus Houston. Houston is a 2.5-point favorite in entering this game. The other wild card matchup in the AFC sees Tennessee take on New England. New England is a 4.5-point favorite. On the NFC side, you got the Vikings and the Saints in New Orleans. The Saints enter as an 8-point favorite. In the final game in the wild card round, we have the Seahawks and the Eagles in Philadelphia. The Seahawks enter as a 2-point favorite. So here are the wild card matchups. So out of these 8, who moves on? So here on the screen, I will show you my divisional round for both the AFC and the NFC. So in the AFC, I got Buffalo versus Baltimore. I mean, Houston, they haven't been able to get a playoff win as of late. And, that Buffalo defense looks real legit. And, Houston has a lot of issues on their defense. I think Josh Allen will get it together, and I think the Bills can win a playoff game. So I'm going to take the Bills on the road to beat the Texans. The other playoff matchup, I have New England. In the divisional round, I got New England versus Kansas City. I have New England beating Tennessee in the wild card round. New England at home, New England hasn't lost a home game in the playoffs since the 2012-2013 AFC title game to Baltimore. And it's Tom Brady in the playoffs. You can't doubt the Patriots in the playoffs. The golden rule. In the NFC, I got the Eagles against the 49ers. I got the Eagles upsetting the Seahawks at home. And here's a couple reasons why. Eagles have injuries, and the Seahawks are also banged up too. Also, here's an interesting fact. Every time the Bird teams have met in the playoffs, every time, believe it or not, whoever the home team has been in the Bird versus Bird team matchup, the home team has always won the Bird versus Bird matchup in the playoffs. So based on that trend, it's saying the Eagles should beat the Seahawks in this matchup. Plus, the Seahawks have been really good on the road, and odds are, since they've been really good on the road throughout the year, it sort of sounds like that means they're gonna lose on the road in the playoffs. So based on all that, I'm gonna take the Eagles to get it done on the road at home. I say the Eagles will win a playoff game. So I got the Eagles moving on. The other matchup I have the Saints and the Packers in Green Bay. I have the Saints beating the Vikings at home. I do think 8 points is a little too high for that matchup. But I think part of the reason, the Saints are really good at home. Plus, Kirk Cousins can't win a big-time game if his life depended on it. He sucks in the big-time games. He can't win a big game. And he has a losing record against winning teams. So yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints just win against the Vikings. Plus, a true fan doesn't root for a division rival in the playoffs. But yeah, these are my divisional round matchups. So out of these 8, who will move on to their respective championship games? So here are my AFC and my NFC championship games. So for the AFC, I think it's going to be New England versus Baltimore. For the NFC, I have it being New Orleans versus San Francisco. I say Baltimore will beat Buffalo again. I think it's just really hard to stop Baltimore and Lamar Jackson. I think the Ravens' offense is going to be too much for Buffalo to handle. So I'd say the Ravens get that game. And I feel, New England, Kansas City, I've been back and forth on this one. But I feel like just off of Andy Reid, some history in the postseason, I feel like the Chiefs are going to choke this game. I feel like the Chiefs are going to choke to the Patriots. I have a feeling, here it is. I say the Patriots win that game in a fourth quarter comeback. They come from behind in the second half. I'm saying in that game, I think the Chiefs will have a double-digit lead. And then I think the Chiefs are going to go full Reid again. I feel like the Chiefs, they're just going to end up coming up short in this window. See, I say the Patriots will take advantage of the Chiefs going full Reid again. And I have the Patriots moving on to another AFC title game. So I have the 49ers beating the Eagles in the divisional round. I just think the injuries are going to catch up to Philadelphia, and they won't have enough to contend with the 49ers. Honestly, I could see the Saints going, and for the Saints, I have them beating the Packers in Lambeau. I could see the Saints pulling it off in Green Bay. I think the Saints can pull it off. That Packers team is not impressive. I'm not impressed with them. Out of all the division titles the Packers have won, this is the one I'm the least impressed with. Let me put this in perspective. I'm more impressed with the Packers 2013 division title win than this one. I'm more impressed with the division title the Packers won in 2013 when they went 8-7-1 than this division title where the Packers go 13-3. Like I've said it here, the Packers are screaming one and done. And plus, a true fan doesn't root for a division rival in the playoffs. See, with that being said, I'm going to take the Saints on the road to get it done in Green Bay. So yeah, here it is. New England, Baltimore, New Orleans, San Francisco. Out of those four, who advanced to the Super Bowl? A Super Bowl prediction that I get wrong every single year. And I probably will get it wrong again. But anyway, which two teams will I end up jinxing because I have terrible luck with this? So here's my Super Bowl 54 matchup. I'm going to say it's going to be the Ravens versus the Saints. You know, I know New England won the title on the road last year. But, I don't know if they can shut down Lamar Jackson again. It's going to be very tough to beat Baltimore. Especially with Lamar Jackson's legs being able to kill you. I just think in the end, I think the Ravens this time are going to be too much to handle for the Patriots. And I think Father Time is catching up to Brady. See, I'm going to say the Ravens are going to advance to the Super Bowl. Now, Saints and 49ers, I think it's going to be another classic game like that matchup in the regular season a few years ago. I don't think it will be a high-scoring game like it was a couple weeks ago, back in, I think it was week 13, that high-scoring game where both teams got like 40, where both teams scored 40-plus points, almost 50 points each. I think it's going to be a game where both teams score 30-plus points. It's going to be a shootout. And I trust Drew Brees more than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't had really any playoff experience, except being behind Tom Brady and the Patriots in multiple Super Bowl runs. I think after the Saints got fucked over last year in the NFC title game, I think the Saints get payback and redemption, and they move on to the Super Bowl 54. So yeah, this is a Super Bowl matchup I'm probably going to get wrong, but oh well. So here it is. Baltimore Ravens, New Orleans Saints. Lamar Jackson versus Drew Brees. John Harbaugh versus Sean Payton. I mean, this is going to be a really good matchup. But out of these two teams, who will hoist the Lombardi Trophy? So, for my Super Bowl 54 champion in my bracket, I've given this one a lot of thought. I've been back and forth on this one. I think if these two teams meet in the Super Bowl, it'll be a really good matchup. It will be a classic offensive Super Bowl matchup for the ages. But I do feel like there's going to be some ref ball. I do think a team's going to get fucked over by some reffing. But a lot of trends have also shown that the MVP of the NFL every year for the last, I don't know how many years, has failed to win the Super Bowl. I think it's the last decade or so. And Lamar Jackson's going to probably be the MVP this year. And since the NFL MVP has failed to win the Super Bowl, I think it's the last decade or so. So I think with all that considered, I think everything after last year, I think with the way the football gods have been, I think everything is lining up and the stars will be in perfect alignment for the New Orleans Saints to win their second Super Bowl. Yep, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to pick the Saints to get the Super Bowl 54 win this year. I think the Saints get it done in the Super Bowl this year. I say Drew Brees gets his second ring, and New Orleans gets redemption after getting screwed over last year. I think the way everything goes, I think everything's lining up for the Saints to get the Super Bowl this year. So yeah, give me New Orleans for the Super Bowl. But yeah, that's my 2019-2020 NFL playoff bracket and predictions video. What are your predictions? How bad do you think I'll do in this bracket this year? But yeah, that's all I gotta say, folks. Hope everyone's a great day, and yeah, peace. Peace out. Now watch half of this be wrong after round 1 because I have shitty luck.